pleased with what is happening.
You see, we've already started the conversation before starting the conversation. Welcome back to Morning Live. And you know, the issues happening in this country, I was just having a conversation with one of the guests. This country has the memory of a fish. We forget things very, very fast. And politicians have learned that the fourth estate has a problem with its memory. We jump at every bone that is thrown even before clearing the meat on the previous bone. So we are going to look at what is happening in the country. In the studio with me, I have John Mukoya.
Yes.
Welcome. John Mukoya is from the Movement for Democracy.
The Movement for Defense of Democracy.
Movement for the Defense of Democracy.
Yes.
And we have Wycliffe Alutaya. Alutalala.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Wycliffe Alutalala.
Yes.
I have to get my Kikuyu tongue to pronounce it well. Very interesting things.
Yes.
We are living at a time that I think probably our parents lived through, in the sense that you have a generation, things happening in the country. Take, for instance, Ojwang's situation.
Yes.
A gentleman is taken from home. First, the Deputy Inspector General makes, a complaint. Officers under him, because he's the Deputy Inspector General, go all the way and to Migori, pick this young man, bring him back to Nairobi, and hours later, he is dead. The DIG is still in office. And the defense has been made for him. If you look at the headline of the Standard, it just has the pictures of all the top cops, and it says, shameless top cops. What comes to your mind when you see this kind of things?
Currently, sorry, I've just come in, and I'm sorry because of the jam to have arrived late, but I know we are picking up from there. Generally, we must speak, and speaking we must. What is happening in this country at the moment, as we speak, I think the police are taking us into circles.
Yes.
It worries me as a Kenyan when news comes out, and funny enough, I want to start when the CCTV has come out from Bagadi.
Yes.
Then the police come and tell us, and in fact I'm wondering, IPOA says that the two officers are at large. It's funny. Which officers are at large?
Yes.
How can you come and tell Kenyans that officers who dropped Ojwang dead at Bangadi are at large? These are government officials.
Yes.
These are people who are in the force. The vehicle that got to Bangadi is a government vehicle. It is clearly seen in the CCTV. At large to where? Have they fled to Uganda?
Yeah.
Are they in this country? You know, we cannot, we are taking Kenyan circles. The DIG, Lagat, he has been adversely mentioned. He's the complainant. Then you go say that arrest some suspects, say civilians, that they were in the police custody. They were the ones used to beat Ojwang. When Ojwang died, we were told he hit himself.
Yes.
On the wall. Now it is coming out that they were used. You know, the cover-up of Ojwang. A country can go into flames just because of one person.
Yes.
And it might be Ojwang. You know, we cannot continue killing Kenyans in the name of saying that we in Broad-Based, we are saying that we did not get to Broad-Based for people to be killed. One of the reasons why we got here, it is to stop the abduction and stop the killing of the people in the country. It is going on by the same people who are supposed to protect the Kenyans. How will we trust DIG? Even if he continues sticking on power, how are we going to trust him in that office? already one person has died. The people who pay your salary are saying they've lost trust in you.
Yes.
Simple thing to do is to step aside. If you know you have not done anything, step aside. That is the simple thing to do, to allow investigations to go on. How will investigation go on? By the juniors of this guy who is still in office. Unless this is another cover-up. We say, oh, it might have been this thing, it might have been done by, don't mention for us opposition.
Yes.
Who is more opposition than we? Which opposition? You know, how did opposition, you know, narratives have been created day by day that this is what happened to Ojwang. Ojwang was supposed to be explained to why he was arrested. What made people, or police officers, to leave Nairobi 400 kilometers to go to Mawego to arrest Ojwang? What is this that Ojwang had said that really pricked the DIG and had a full force? People are being killed in this country day and night. We have never seen the DCI moving that swiftly.
Yes.
What is this that Ojwang had said that warranted the whole force of 6 officers to go to his home and pick him, and later on we find that Ojwang is dead?
He definitely said, you and I know what he said, because
Yes.
he alleged that the DIG.
If it is an allegation,
Yes.
as it's being claimed,
Yes.
it was not warranted for him to be killed.
Yes.
They say Ojwang was a teacher. He is an official.
Yes.
It was just a phone call. They could even have gone to TSC and told TSC, can you call your person here? This is what he's alleging. This man was not on the run.
Yes.
He did not deserve 6 officers in his home. And
Officers
whatever
from the DCI.
officer from DCI,
Yes.
all the public resources being used to go for one man, a young man who could just be called and could appear. Whatever he alleged, then it means it is true. It also needs to be investigated.
Yes.
Because if this one can cause him death, then it means that true, whatever he said was true.
When the DCI boss, Mohammed Amin, appeared before Parliament, the Senate, one of the first thing he was saying is that we should not be fast to condemn the DIG. It is his officers, the DCI's officers, who went to go and get Ojwang. He should also be investigated.
Now, first of all, I want to say that it is unfortunate to lose one life, because we are all parents, and no parent would want to see his son or his daughter go through what Ojwang went through. However, as a country, it is high time we must learn to separate issues. This culture of mob lynching
Yes.
should not be encouraged. From where I sit, DIG Lagat is a Kenyan before he becomes a police officer.
Yes.
And our constitution is very clear that every Kenyan has a right to make a complaint if he feels his rights have been violated. So DIG Lagat made an official complaint against one Ojwang, which is within his constitutional rights.
Yes.
He has a right to do that. If he feels that he has an issue against someone, he can report. Now, the elephant in the room is what happened. Because you and me know that when you make a complaint to the police over anyone, the police have their own way of taking action. And the law is clear on what happens.
Yes.
Just like what my friend is saying here. If someone is a public figure, for example, someone is a civil servant,
Yes.
or any Kenyan, if the police want you, there are 2 ways. They can summon you, they can arrest you. Both are applicable, and they are allowed in law. But now, in this particular case of Ojwang, several issues are coming out. Number one, Ojwang was arrested in Homa Bay,
Yes.
actually Mawego village,
Yes.
which is 400 kilometers from Nairobi. Now, the question that begs is, the law is very clear that someone should always be arrested by the nearest police station.
Yes.
Assuming that this was a crime that was supposed to be investigated even from Nairobi, the best thing that could have happened, DCI is devolved.
Yes.
DCI is all over.
Yes.
We have DCI officers in every police station. This is a guy who was supposed to have been taken from Mawego to the nearest police station. DCI officers are there. They could do the investigation from there. But now the fact that he was driven all the way to Nairobi raises the first question. Why? Then number two, there is a procedure of how a culprit is processed once he's taken to a police station.
Yes.
The culprit is supposed to be booked, then investigations begin. But now in this case, we are seeing a scenario whereby within 24 hours, that is from the time the guy was arrested in Migori, driven to Nairobi like 6-8 hours,
yes,
then that night, we are seeing a flurry of activities in between, which also raises the other issue of what really happened. Because as he has put it, there are so many theories being thrown around.
Yeah.
But now, what I want to focus on is how the investigations are going on. Because we have seen the IG, we have seen the DCI boss appearing before the Senate. We have seen a flurry of statements coming out. What I want us to focus on is that who exactly killed Ojwang? That is the elephant in the room. Because now we are being told there were some cellmates who had been arrested earlier, who are actually used to kill this guy.
Yeah.
There are this theory of the guy was tortured at Karura before he was brought to Central Police Station. Then from there is the story of how he was taken to Mbagathi, whether he was taken to Mbagathi for treatment or already was dead. So there are so many theories going around. But one thing I want us to separate is that Ojwang was killed.
Yes.
So the first narrative
that's a fact.
That is a fact.
Yes.
He was killed. Because there is no magic between someone being driven from Homa Bay to Nairobi,
yes,
and then he mysteriously dies.
Yes.
The fact remains he was killed. So the question we should be asking ourselves, and the question we will want to hear answered from the police service, is who killed Ojwang? Because we have two sets of people here. We have the four, I think there are four DCI officers who
yes,
drove Ojwang from Homa Bay to Nairobi.
Yes.
Then there are the 5 police officers who are initially named at Central Police Station,
yes,
who are on duty,
yes,
starting with the deputy OCS. Because it is said the OCS was not in,
yes,
on duty on that particular night.
Yes.
He was actually called. So we have the 5 officers, starting with the deputy OCS, up to the duty officer, the sentry officer, the guys who are actually in charge of that shift. Those 5 police officers. Those are the people who should tell us who actually killed Ojwang. Plus the 4 DCI officers who drove the guy from Migori,
yes,
from Homa Bay to Nairobi. Because we are now pursuing 2 theories here.
Yes.
First theory is Ojwang was tortured at Karura. So if it is the torture, of course it is the DCI.
DCI officers.
Now, the second theory is that Ojwang was killed inside the police cell. So if it is inside the police cell, then it is the 5 police officers who are on duty on that particular night.
Yes.
That is where our focus should be. Now, for me, the issue of targeting DEIG Lagat is diversionary.
Are you think it's diversionary?
I think it is diversionary. The reason why I think it is diversionary, my focus is on who killed Ojwang.
Should
And
the
the
investigation
theories-
be, because in most investigation, the question is, who stands to benefit the most by the death or by the commission of a crime?
Now, you know, I think I've outlined my focus.
Yes.
My focus is we need to know who killed Ojwang. Once we get the answer of who killed Ojwang, then we go to the second step.
Why?
Was Ojwang killed? When you answer the question of why was Ojwang killed, it will answer who stood to benefit. Are you getting?
Yes. But right
That is my thinking.
Let me come in. And,
Yes.
first of all, as a law student,
Yes.
I want to speak from that point.
Yes.
As a law student. The procedure of arrest. Number one, we want to know the instructions given to those officers who went for Juang. Because they were instructions. They were not doing it on their own. A report was made, yes. Officers cannot fuel vehicles from here to Mawego without instructions.
Yes.
Which instructions were they given? And which instructions were given to Mawego police station, the nearest police station where Ojwang was staying? There must have been a collaboration between the OCS at Mawego, these other officers who have come from Nairobi,
yes,
because they do not know the area.
Yes.
They were accompanied by others.
Yes.
To Mawego, where Ojwang was. We have the border borders who carry these officers. We have those officers in Mawego. We have the OCS in Mawego. It has to go chronologically.
Yes.
When Ojwang was arrested, what was the officer in Mawego told? When he was booked, maybe in Mawego.
Yes.
Before that officer handed over these people who had come from Nairobi, he had confirmed that these are officers indeed.
Yes.
Because nobody will come in your area,
yes,
and just pick someone, come to a station and say, I need assistance. Because those officers could not go to the village alone,
yes, yeah,
because they could go to that village and the villagers retaliate. So they needed that support. From Mawego to come to Nairobi, we are now being told that when Ojwang reached Nairobi, he was booked in a solitary cell. He was put in a cell where there was nobody else.
Solitary.
Solitary cell.
Yes.
Yesterday we are being told that there were other people who beat Ojwang and they have been arrested.
So it's no longer solitary.
It is no longer solitary. It is now turning out to be very funny, and this is a game. Now, Ojwang is not now in a cell solitary. We have other inmates who are there with him, who used to beat him. And officers at the reception,
yes,
or in Central Police, there are around 5 or 6,
yes,
did not hear even Ojwang shout. And then we are told, Mukhwana, you are the one who was holding the key of the cell.
Yes.
You must appear before court. And we need 21 days to investigate you how you are holding that key. A vehicle carries Ojwang, takes him to Magathi, and the vehicle is seen clearly in CCTV. We are not told the 3 officers or the 4 officers who are there in the vehicle with Ojwang. We are told they are at large. Where did instruction to arrest Ojwang come from? Who commissioned the arrest? No officer can live with a vehicle here in Nairobi to go to Mawego. That vehicle needs safe fuel. There must be a release of the vehicle. People have been dying. People have been dying. We have never seen a vehicle coming from DCI to go straight away to rush and gun arrest a person. Let the officers in this country be honest. Kenyans don't need to be treated for theatrics. We cannot have versions of information coming from senior officers of this country. The DG says this. The DCI boss says this. The prime suspect is Talam, who my brother said was not at the station.
Yes.
Where are those other 6 officers who are at the station? Where is the deputy OCS who had been left the station that day?
Yeah.
Who gave the instructions for Juan to be booked in? When you bring a suspect and you want to book him as per law,
yes,
you want to book him in a station, the officer must be notified. The officer commanding the station must be notified.
Yes.
And that officer will give direction. When Ojwang was brought to Central Police, who gave instruction for him to be booked into Central Police? And who are these who brought him? Are they the same people who picked him from Homa Bay? Who brought him to Central Police? Police should not take us into circles.
Yeah.
responsibility must be taken. This story could be have ended long time ago if Kenyans and the officers in office are honest with Kenyans. You have arrested those civilians. Today they are appearing in court with Talam.
Yes.
Is Talam the one who sent them to Bitojwang? What are you telling us? You want to take them to court to go and ask for 21 days to hold them to do investigation. But still say that officers who went to Bagadi are at large. You arrested these civilians in minutes, but those officers are at large. Officers of the government of Kenya.
They're at large. They're
at large. They're missing.
Now, you know,
Yes.
you see, the reason why I say that the way this story is panning out
It's a circus.
is actually a circus.
Yes.
Because now, you ask me, how do you now talk of arresting the OCS who was not on duty
Yes.
when the guy was brought at the station, and you cannot tell us why the 5 police officers, including the deputy OCS,
Are at large.
is still free?
Yes.
Then you want us to focus on the OCS who was not on duty, who allegedly, when he was called, because there is also a statement that came out,
Yes.
that when this guy was brought to Central Police Station,
Yes.
the OCS was called,
Yes.
and the OCS wanted to know the status of the person who was supposed to be booked. And when he was told that the guy was not in very good shape,
Yes. He told them,
he
take
told
him to
them
hospital.
to take him to hospital.
Yes.
Then this OCS, who allegedly was unwilling to authorize the booking of this guy, and who was said to have proposed that the guy should be taken to hospital, is now the one being taken to court, when the deputy OCS, who was at the station, and who actually facilitated the booking of the guy into the cell, is nowhere. You are picking one guy called Mukhwana, allegedly because he was the one having the keys to the cell,
Yes.
but you are leaving out the deputy OCS,
Yes.
who instructed him to book that guy.
Yeah. Because
In
police
fact-
move, they only take instructions.
Yes.
Instructions.
Yes.
So there is no way Mukhwana could have booked this guy
Without
in the condition
instructions.
he was in,
Yes.
without the order of the deputy OCS,
Yes.
who was in charge of the station on
By
that
that
night.
time.
Yes.
So looking at the whole saga, for me, it tells you of a scheme to divert our attention from the real killers of this guy to other issues.
No, it is funny. You cannot come and claim that Mukhwana is the one who was at the station alone.
Yes.
Central Police Station is a big station.
Yes.
Yes.
We go there at night.
A whole shift.
My youths have been arrested. I've been there severally.
Yes.
You cannot say, can other officers come and collaborate that it is true, it is Mukhwana?
Yes.
Can they come and collaborate that it is true the OCS, Mr. Talam, is the one who authorized?
And-
Talam is saying, no, I did not authorize, I was not there. I said, no, I was not on duty.
Yes.
You want to take us into circus. The vehicle that picked Mukhwana, picked Ojwang,
Yeah.
it is being seen. Who was driving that vehicle?
Yes.
Definitely it's a police officer.
Yes.
Who are these people in that vehicle? Where did they pick Ojwang from? Was it that Ojwang was picked from Central? And when they reached Bagadi, this is a person who needed emergency care.
Yes.
How long were they taking to ensure that Ojwang gets in? Does it need investigation?
You can clearly see it.
Does it need investigation?
Yeah.
Number two, is it a game? And why Ojwang? And why now?
Remember, the same day that Ojwang was picked,
Yes.
there was another young man
Who was in Kamkunji?
who was in Kamkunji who had also made statements concerning the same individual.
Yes.
But was released when,
Yes.
reports came out that
Yes.
Ojwang had died.
Yes.
Meaning, there were instructions coming from way above,
Yes.
concerning these particular issues. And probably they wanted to teach the two young men a lesson, then things went off. Because there was a young man at Kamkunji arrested under the same allegations that he had made claims against the DIG. So question is, as you say we should not do mob justice, but why is he still in office? Two individuals arrested by the police for making claims against him. Now, one released after the other one had died.
Now, the reason why DIG Lagat is still in office, and I don't see him resigning, is simple. What crime is being investigated? We are investigating who killed Ojwang. We are not investigating who complained against Ojwang. DIG complained against Ojwang. Now, ordinarily, let's assume you've reported to a police station that Mr. Mkoya here has wronged you. You've reported, you have been given an OB number, you've gone back. In an ordinary situation, who should order the police to go and arrest Mkoya? Is it you, the complainant, or is it the OCS commanding that station?
The OCS.
It is the OCS. So now, in this case, the reason why people are now focusing on Ojwang, on DIG, is because of his position in the force. But ordinarily, the way I look at this thing, if we are to reach at the conclusion of who killed this guy, then we need to ask what Mr. Mkoya here is saying, that who gave, what instructions were given.
And by who?
And by who. Officially, from where I sit, the DIG made a complaint. But now on the issue of the instructions that were given, as at the time these vehicles were leaving Kiambu Road to Mawego, what were the instructions? Because it is those instructions that were followed to Mawego and back to Nairobi. So the reason why DIG is still in office is because the crime that is being investigated is who killed Ojwang. And that's why I'm saying, if we are able, in fact, what IPOA should be doing, as at now, the 4 DCI officers who went to Mawego, plus the 5 police officers who were at Central on that night, should be in court today. It is them to tell us who gave them the instructions and what were the instructions. But picking one guy called Mukwana, just because he had the keys
to the
cell, and you are not telling us, now, let's assume that Mukwana had the keys. So, by picking out one guy, are we saying Mukwana single-handedly killed Ojwang inside the police cells?
Or supervised the killing?
Or supervised the police nini, and the police officers on that night went in, saw the body, and said, you've done a good job. Now let's go to Mbagathi. And they didn't see this was a crime that Mukwana was supposed to be arrested there and then. Or what are we saying? Because if he's the one being picked to go to the court, it means he did it. After he did it, so we have seen the CCTV at Mbagathi. The body was picked from Central by the police in a police vehicle. So are we saying, after Mukwana finished the killing, the 3 officers who were seen at Mbagathi in a police vehicle came, confirmed.
He's dead.
He's dead. Confirmed. Mukwana, you are finished. Now let's carry. And they are still free.
On the same. On the same. You know, the story the police is giving us cannot be bought anywhere. We are being told there are 2 civilians or 3 civilians who are used to actually beat up Ojwang, and eventually Ojwang died. Central Police is the headquarters of police station in Nairobi.
Yes.
No, not the headquarters as such,
Yes.
but is among the biggest police stations in Nairobi.
Yes.
These three individuals, civilians, are they the only people who had been arrested that day? Because we want to know how many people were in Central Police that day, and it was Ojwang being beaten by these civilians, and Ojwang was just quiet. Did those other civilians who had been arrested hear anything?
Yes.
Ojwang crying, wailing for help? Because we are heading to a level where police don't take us for a joke. This circus.
Yes.
Who are these other people who had been arrested in Central? These ones, the three were used. Who are these ones who are not used? Who are in Central, who can witness and say, for sure, we had some commotion in that cell, or this cell we were in. Oh, these three, where were they locked? Were they also locked in a solitary cell so that they were just picked there and taken to deal with the Ojwang, and after they finished, they were let back? There's another story that's being said that the same night, there were some inmates who were released from Central Police. We are not buying, Ojwang has refused to die, and he's not dying.
Yes.
And the police should know that. He's not dying. Another thing that I want to tell my brother Al-Talala. People are not saying that Lagat should be lynched. No, there's what we call public trust.
Yes.
You are the complainant, and Al-Talala dies.
Yes.
The cause of death is because of your complaint.
Yes.
If you never complained about Al-Talala, nobody could have gone for Al-Talala in Huisero or in Kakamega to bring him to Nairobi.
So are we saying it was wrong for him to complain?
You complain, and then someone comes and dies. It's not just a story about complaining.
You become the prime suspect.
You become the prime suspect.
Yes.
People complain every day.
Yes.
Ruto is abused every day.
Yes.
Raila is abused every day. People make allegations every day. We are saying you are okay. You are saying you are not involved. Fine. Step aside.
Yes.
Let's have the investigation. If you are clean, come back. Because by you being here, no junior officer is going to come and investigate you.
True.
He's a senior officer. You cannot send a junior officer to come and investigate his boss. That is public trust. You cannot force yourself on people. People have already lost trust in you.
Yes.
That's what they're crying for. You might be being leashed, as is being said, fine, but there's trust. You cannot force yourself in the police service on people. How will people trust you?
Yes.
You are the deputy DIG. An allegation, if this was another country, the same day an allegation was made on the DIG, he could have resigned.
Yes. Because
if
you look at the flow of
events and chronological events,
yes,
and how it is happening, you come and say that let's go to first we move the dice today, tomorrow they are in Senate, after Senate IPOA comes and says no, the way we look at this thing, then you let us agree that we don't need to leech our brothers, fine. But people have to take responsibility. As a leader, as an officer, Lagat has a family, has parents, has children. The more he continues sitting in office, that is what is angering Kenyans more. As these things continue, Lagat might be very clean. Lagat might not have participated in anything. But can he allow investigation to go on? If we talk about Mukhwana was holding a key of the cell, it's because he's a small fish. We talk about Talam, who was not even in the station, being arrested and being in law. You are the first prime suspect is no other than Lagat. Let's not lie to each other, and let's not go. I will wish to say, oh, let us give him time. Which time are we giving? That young man is already in the mortuary. Funeral arrangements are being done. You are going to be left here. Tomorrow or another day, Ojwang will be buried. But the death of Ojwang will not go out of the minds of Kenyans. We cannot have the same person who complained about this young man and the young man comes and dies, having not stepped down or having not resigned. That is good practice.
Yes.
It's not about politics. It's good practice. That when you are an officer, one life is more. Young people are dying in this country. How will we now trust Lagat going forward? Let's assume he doesn't resign. Let's assume we bury Ojwang. After burying Ojwang, then Lagat is in office. Nothing ever happened to him. Mukhwana is jailed. Talam is jailed. He's the complainant. Can you also come and tell us what he complained about?
Yes.
Let him make the statement and tell, this is what I complained about. I never told these people to go and arrest Ojwang.
Yes.
How does it happen that my brother here, Talala, complains today and this case takes 9 months? Uruto has been alleged to have been killed. We have had the president of this country, people alleging kwa mitandao and everywhere that Mheshimiwa William Ruto has done this and done this. We have never seen him order so and so should be arrested. What is this that makes Ojwang to die because he has complained about Lagat? That is what is paining Kenyans. Brother Fred, I've had youths on the streets.
Yes.
I've seen them die. I'm talking from a point of information that I have led demonstrations in this country.
Yes.
I've seen youths fall before me.
Shot by police.
Shot by police. Bullets. Myself, my car was shot in Kangware. If you remember that time when a police vehicle was touched in Kangware,
yes,
during 2023.
Yes.
I'm talking from the wounds of those people who died. Ojwang is not going to rest. Ojwang must rest with the rest of the people who participated in his killing. Even if you just mention, go and arrest him, Ojwang must rest with you. I rest my case.
This situation, it smells from here to the highest heaven because, and probably might end up affecting the way politics is done in the country. Because right now, there is a broad-based government. And it's not going to leave any of the parties involved untouched. Yes. They're not going to leave that place smelling good cologne. There's going to be a stench on it. President William Ruto is not going to go away. This is not going to not affect him. Am I right?
Before we come to that,
yes.
Mr. Mkwaya is a very good friend of mine.
And, just wait. Once he starts like that, there is a hammer coming.
And I like him because he's very passionate,
yes,
about democracy,
yes,
and good governance. But I detest his selective amnesia, where he chooses when to apply certain words and when not to apply the same words. This same Mukwaya here,
yes,
in 2017,
yes,
I remember there was a one-page advert in the Daily Nation by NASA, signed by Dr. Agre James Orengo,
yes,
on behalf of NASA, where NASA was demanding justice for the NASA supporters who had been killed during those demos. And my friend here knows very well that since then, very little was done.
yes.
Now, we are here in 2025. As I said in my opening remarks, no parent would want his son or his child to die in the circumstances that Ojwang died. That one is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And we all agree that whatever is happening is totally wrong.
Yes.
But as a believer in good governance and democracy, just like my friend Mkwaya here,
Yes.
we need, one, to believe and support our institutions. The latest statement I heard from IPOA, I think it was on Friday, they said that all the officers who are involved in this matter shall make personal statements. They shall write personal statements. And they were very clear to the extent that they said, including the DIG, he will have to write a personal statement with IPOA. So from where I sit, it is clear that the circumstances surrounding the death of Ojwang are not clear. The statements that have come out from the day he died up to today, they are as confusing as the situation. But I would pray that we allow IPOA. Because now, the police is now the one under scrutiny.
Yes.
So the only other body we can trust in this case is IPOA. There are basic things that we would want IPOA to do. As I said earlier, number one, the DCI officers who arrested Ojwang in Homa Bay, all the way from Nairobi, need to be investigated, and they need to be known, and they need to record statements. The 5 police officers who were at Central Police Station, on the night this guy was brought to Central Police Station, need to be investigated, and they need to write statements, and they need to go to court. Let each of these people defend themselves in court. Depending on the statements that will be written by these close to 9 or 10 people,
Yes.
by the time the 9 people record their statements, we shall have an answer to what Mukoya is asking. What instructions were given? And who gave the instructions? If the investigations reveal that the instructions that were given were to eliminate Ojwang, then we ask, who gave the instructions? If those investigations reveal that it is DIG Lagat who gave the instructions, and the instructions were to finish that guy, then DIG should be in the dock. But if the investigations reveal that the only instructions that Lagat gave was the complaint that he made, and the report comes out as that from IPOA, we'll go with that. But the idea of just saying because Lagat is the DIG,
Yes.
and he was the complainant,
Yes.
then you should be held responsible for the actions of the other officers who actually did the actual killing. To me, is a no.
Shouldn't he step aside
Excuse
then
me.
and wait for this process to happen? Then once we have established, or the courts have established, that he was not party to the whole thing, then he can come back. At least
You
as,
see,
as a
there is
student
no way
of
the
good
court,
governance.
there is no way the court can determine whether he was part of it or not part of it if he has not been taken to court. That's why I'm saying, let's allow IPOA to do the investigation. If the investigations point to Lagat as the giver of the instructions, and the instructions come out clearly that they were to kill, then let him go to court. How do you expect the court to determine a matter that is not before it?
Maybe I come in.
Yes.
My brother Talala is a good man.
Yes.
And he's a good man.
Okay. wait for what is coming.
And being a good man,
Yes.
I expect him
Yes.
to understand that one, IPOA depends on the police
To investigate.
to investigate. There is no other senior officer under IPOA than the DIG.
Yes.
IPOA is using the junior officer to investigate the DIG. Mr. Kanja himself said,
Yes.
not IPOA. IPOA have not mentioned anything
Yes.
to do about calling the DIG to record statements. It is Kanja in parliament who said that in the event the DIG is called to record a statement by IPOA, he will resign. Kanja is giving us conditions that if he's not called, then he's not going to resign. I wish Talala to know that the Constitution is supreme. And chapter 1, it states that the power belongs to the people. And the power is going to send DIG home. The people, leave alone the courts, leave alone IPOA. This issue of Ogola, of Ojwang, people have been dying. My brother has referred to 2017.
Yes.
2017, our brothers died, sisters died. 2022, our brothers have died. We have come to 2023, they have died. We are in 2007, they died. We cannot normalize death. We cannot normalize death. It cannot appear like we have had that IPOA. It's not that IPOA has come in yesterday. Can IPOA tell us what they have done on the GNCs who died? Can they say what they have done on the people who died in 2023? We cannot purely rely, and IPOA is crying that sometimes they are frustrated by the same police. So we want to say that this time they're not going to be frustrated. We cannot assume that this time they're not going to be frustrated. When people died in 2017, nothing much happened. When people died in 2022, nothing much happened. When people died in 2023, nothing much happened. When when the GNCs have died in 2024, nothing much has happened. Ojwang will come to the end of the death of those others who have died. The bottom line of this thing has to be found. They might have died, nobody has fought for them. But this one has united the country. Not along political lines, not along tribal lines. But we cannot, the death of Ojwang, DIG might be very clean, we are saying. But we are saying, how is he going to be investigated by his juniors?
Yes.
What is wrong by him stepping down and allowing investigation to happen? Then from there, if he's clean, he comes back to office. If he was not a DIG, could he have stepped down as per now? if he wasn't a DIG, could he have stepped down as per now? He could have stepped down.
Yes.
As the circus continue, me and Talala here, today, 2 people are appearing in court. 2 officers. I've had maybe some 2 or 3 have been arrested.
Yes.
That is Talam and Muhwana.
Yes.
We cannot sacrifice innocent people if they may be through an allegation. Muhwana and Talam are going to carry the brand of all the rot that happened in this death. Those civilians who are going to court today, you cannot confirm that the ones, the court will offer them bail. They will come out. The family of Ojwang, even Muhwana and Talam might be offered bail. They will come out. Will we have solved who killed Ojwang? It has to stop from the top.
Yes.
The rot is from the top. Even that young man was being held in Kamkunji under instructions from somewhere. The people who went to Kamkunji were told that they cannot see this young man. And I'm saying this on your television, that I have several people who went there who can confirm they were told they cannot see that young man. Orders have come from above.
So you had the people who went to Kamkunji.
Yes.
And they were told by the police that
they cannot see
because of orders from
have
above.
come from above. And I'm not saying this to lie. I'm normally a very honest person.
Yes.
If those people were called today, they will say what they were told in Kamkunji, that they cannot see. A police station where someone says today that sahi ni wakati wa kuona wanaume, sahi ni wakati wa in a police station, you see all genders when they are arrested. The same version was supposed maybe to happen the same. We cannot come and tell Kenyans, oh, you know, as Muhwana is being sacrificed, atalala. Mukhwana has a family. Mukhwana has children also. They're seeing their father on television, being told that he's the one who might have been a conduit on killing Ojwang. Talam has parents, has children also. Responsibility does not mean you have committed a crime.
Yes.
It is good practice in law. It is good practice. Those who are in power, whenever they are mentioned on anything to do with death especially, the best thing you do, you step aside to win the public trust. You cannot force this man on people. The same people pay his salary. We want confidence in the police service, that people can have confidence that if it is Fred who is there, we are confident. This man, nobody has said he has killed. But we are they are saying, boss, you are the complainant. You have been adversely mentioned. If you never complain, today Ojwang could be in school teaching children. He could be in school teaching. The father of Ojwang is asking, who complained? He wants to see the complainant. That the bitterness, the complainant is none other than Lagat. We have been told that the DIG is the complainant. You are being mentioned. Stop having a stone heart. Step aside. Allow investigation. We respect you so much. Nobody is here to leech you. Save the image of the president. It is all about the president. It's not about Lagat. This country is bigger than one person.
What do you mean it is the image? It is about the president, not...
It is about the presidency. Where whatever that's happening here, Fred, this country goes by tribal. Today, what is being said outside there, the president is protecting his own kinsmen.
Yes.
And sacrificing other people. Save us that. It should not be looked at as if now the president comes from Kalenjin region, now Langat coming from the same region. Save the image of the president. The president has been abused severally. The president has been alleged to do so many things severally. He has never had a complaint and ordered. As I talk here, personally, Mukoya, I've stood on that podium and I've actually talked about William Ruto and on facts. He has never sent for me to be arrested. He has never sent for me to be killed. We are talking about Raila Amolo Odinga. Baba, he's not in the country, it's my party leader. He is going to come back. We do not know his statement also. Wait for his statement.
Your party has been going through, and maybe you can come in on this. The ODM is going through a lot of challenges over this situation.
Yes.
Your Secretary General,
Yes.
If my memory serves, either Saturday or yesterday, said the broad-based government and the agreement that was entered into is as good as dead because of this. Because one of the conditions was you gotta stop killing people.
We just come from the other day, Baringwere.
Yes.
Then today the same region is suffering another young man in the hands of police. It's not good practice anyway. It doesn't put people together.
Yes.
It actually leaves people wondering what is happening in this country.
You know, I've been listening to Mukoya very keenly. And I knew it. I knew that as much as we may hide under good governance and democracy and all those good English, we cannot rule political undertones.
Yes.
It is must.
In this Ojwang matter.
Yes.
I'm not sure which paper, but a few days ago, I think it was the Star.
Yes.
It reported that we have serious infighting within the police service.
That's true.
As you all know, the IG
Is going to retire.
Yes. Okay.
And Kenya being a political country, we always see every government official in terms of where he comes from.
Yeah.
That's true.
And DIG Lagat is well in line to replace the IG. And that's why when you hear my friend Mukoya saying that we should not sacrifice Talam and Mkhwana on allegations, he's quick to say that Lagat should step aside based on the complaint he made. That tells you it is beyond what is being investigated.
That's true.
There is a lot of political undercurrents in this matter. And that's why I'm saying we give IPOA the opportunity to do their work. Because I'm actually confused by my friend here, because he says IPOA, according to him, may not be sufficiently capacitated
True.
to help us in this particular investigation. So my question is he suggesting that we bring in foreign agencies to investigate
If possible,
a local matter?
It could be better. That
Or
could be
what
better.
we do? Because for me,
That could be better.
this is a matter that can be handled locally if we trust our institutions. Me, I believe IPOA has the capacity to unearth this saga if there is goodwill. I'm not a proponent of using
Goodwill. Is that goodwill there?
Of course, the goodwill is there because so
That's a
far,
$1 million question.
Yes, it's a goodwill there.
I believe there is goodwill because so far I've not seen any signs of political interference.
It should be in the police. The goodwill should be in the police, so that the political interference doesn't be there.
Yes, and if it is talking about goodwill in the police force, then it is there because
It
already
is-
the IG has said
Altalala,
if this guy is summoned,
Fred,
he will resign.
Altalala,
So
just
what
a
goodwill
point
are
of
we looking
information,
at?
Altalala. There is no goodwill in the police. From day one, the police has been lying to Kenyans. Number one, the police stated Ojwang hit himself on the wall and killed himself, injured himself. That's a lie. It comes out to be found out that such a thing never happened. Autopsy says this man died from injuries, strangulation, or other things. Number one, the same police are the ones who have told us, day one, that this man hit himself on the wall and then...
The IG clarified that when he appeared before Senate.
You cannot
He
say
said
one
those
statement.
were preliminary.
Those preliminaries as a police force. So the same thing we can say about the police force, that they are going to give us preliminary. Even what they are giving us right now, it might be preliminary. They have talked about distortion of CCTV in Central. Now, IPOA has said, we have now captured, we are now remaining with around 36 minutes to have a clear CCTV. They're talking about, there are some civilians who are in the cell, who are used to actually beat up Ojwang. That is circus. We need truth. We have trust in our institutions, but we need them to be truthful. Kenyans don't need to be taken. Altalala, we were moving on well. The country was settling. Everybody was settling. This thing of Ojwang will throw this country into another version that was not expected. Ojwang being killed, the police should be honest. They should take responsibility, be clear on the investigation.
At what point, because I think we've mistrusted this police for a long time.
Yes.
At what point will they give a statement and we take this statement is true?
Yes.
They made a wrong statement. The one that Altalala is claiming here, it is preliminary. Now, how do you expect to trust? You lie today, then you trust you tomorrow.
No, the question is,
No.
at what point shall we ever
At the
trust
point
the
we shall
police?
trust the police is when they will start saying the truth. That's when we shall trust them. At the point when they will start being honest and serve the Kenyan people and know that they are a police service, not a police force. That is the time we are going to trust the police. At the point when police will stop killing Kenyans anyhowly and abducting them anyhowly, we shall trust the police. at the point when police will allow police stations like Mawego to deal with the case of Ojwang, other than sending officers from Nairobi all the way to Mawego.
Basically what you're saying, we will never come
Yes.
to that point.
Yes.
Because I don't see that transformation taking place.
Transformation
anytime
can only take place when we have Lagarde saying, I've been mentioned adversely, let me step down. How do you want trust? Public trust cannot be there when people are saying, Fred, you are involved. And Fred is sticking here and saying, I'm going to continue airing, you like it or not. Now, where's the trust?
Yes.
Today, I tell you, Fred,
Yes.
if today Lagarde said, no, this thing, it has been adversely mentioned, let me step aside, allow investigation. The temperatures will go down. People will start seeing, now you see a responsibility is being taken.
You see what Mukai is saying is the political endgame. But I can assure you,
But Lagarde was just employed. Why does it look like Lagarde?
Until Lagarde
Yes.
is mentioned to have given clear instructions for the guy to be arrested and killed,
Yes.
that is the time he'll have to step aside. But as at now, the only mistake Lagarde did, according to Mukoya, was to make the complaint.
Yes.
Which to me is not a mistake. It is within his legal and constitutional rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me finish, Fred.
Your closing comments. Your closing comments.
Fred,
Yes.
I want to tell my brother at Talala, we remain to be Kenyans. Today is Ojwang. Tomorrow is Al-Talala.
Yes.
And tomorrow is Mukoya. We are not here to leech anyone. But for us to have good governance and a country where people can trust. Kenyan, first of all, they don't trust politicians. They have lost trust in the courts. They have lost trust in the police. They have lost trust. Now, Kenyans now believe in civil society more than they can believe in these other institutions. As a country, we are losing
Which Kenyans? We have a lot of trust in government.
as Kenyans, we are losing. And even those young people, you are seeing them on streets. I will tell them, Ojwang has gone, but coming on the streets also and destroying other people's property does not give justice to Ojwang. That let us agitate for Ojwang's justice in the rightful way. That when we come to Nairobi to demonstrate or to agitate for Ojwang's justice, let's not destroy people's property.
Okay.
Because their justice, that is not justice. When you look for justice, you don't destroy other person's justice. And as I finish, I'm urging our DIG, Lagarde, that the image of the police will depend on him. He's a senior officer. Ojwang's death, if he's not resigning, then let no stone left unturned. We have several officers, almost 10, almost 11. We want to see them in court. They have something to say. Let us not have two people alone appearing in court. Let's have everybody who was involved having something to say so that we can find out what exactly happened and who ordered Ojwang to be killed.
Your closing comments.
Kenya is a country of the rule of law.
Yes.
And a very vibrant constitution with very vibrant institutions. I believe in the Constitution of Kenya and the rule of law, and I believe that everyone has a right, including government officials, and I believe that we need to give our institutions time and trust our institutions. You know, it is very unfortunate when a Kenyan says he has lost trust in government, he has lost trust in the courts, he has lost trust in... You see, now, when you lose trust in everything,
Yes.
then you are telling us Kenya is a banana republic. And we are not yet there. So me, I believe we must trust our institutions, we must trust in our courts, we must trust in our leaders. Because now when you say you don't trust our politicians, you don't trust the courts, you don't trust the executive, you don't trust even the media now. Because now, when you talk of only trusting the activists or the whatever, the civil society, are you saying this civil society is operating in a vacuum? the civil society operates within the law. And this law is our guiding principle. So for me, it was unfortunate what happened, but I want to trust. And my only trust in this process is IPOA, because the police are the ones under scrutiny. So I want to trust that IPOA will do a good job, and it will give us the real killers. And underline the word, the real killers of Ojwang. We don't want to see a few people being sacrificed to cover up for other people. That is my closing remarks.
And I won't add anything. What has been said by these two gentlemen makes a lot of sense. So take to heart what has been said, meditate upon them, and let's see how we can make this country, our country, what it is. It's a beautiful country. Have yourself a lovely morning.